And thank you very much for being there with us on the 6:15 News. I'm Kejang Henry Atimbe in Douala, our top stories. Protect me from my enemies or the enemies of my husband. The wife of murdered journalist Martinez Zogo begs for state. Her for unknown have actually killed Boko Haram activists who have been wreaking havoc in the far north region of the country. Top stories. On YouTube and on Facebook, I'm Kejang Henry Atimbe. Despite her emotional state following the kidnap, the illegal conflict on the line, appearing before the mixed gendarmerie and police investigators yesterday, Dian Zogo requested for the state to protect her as she's been threatened by unidentified men, purportedly of a killer squad. The spokesperson of the Council of Rights of Martinez Zogo, Calvin Job, used the pretext of her about 1 hour appearance at a grand press conference briefing to make the announcement. He says such criminal attacks come with misunderstanding, arguments and divisions within the family, but reiterates that if any journalists want information on the organization of the funeral of Martinez Zogo, they can get the opinion on the procedure. They should meet the family. And concluding that the greatest wish of the author and authors of the assassination of Martinez Zogo must face the law accordingly. The multinational task force, we take now into the far north region in Cameroon, where the multinational joint task force has maintained its grip in the region so as to completely eradicate and crack down on the Boko Haram activists that have killed too many people, abducted thousands, and of course some continue to create havoc in villages. The commanding general from the Cameroonian side is bent on remobilizing troops on the ground. As we hear from you, more indeed with calls from our North Regional Bureau Chief Correspondent, Aissatou Buba.
These children, 5 in number, are now free after they were abducted by Boko Haram fighters. Their freedom came after a fierce battle between the multinational joint task force and Boko Haram fighters who have continuously attacked villages, abducting, inflicting pains on the population, pushing villagers to desert their villages.
They were unfortunate to be abducted by the Boko Haram when they came for their criminal activity. But where they took them to, they were able to escape. So after escaping, the Chadian soldiers on patrol found them. And that's why they handed them over, because after interrogation, they found out that they are not Chadian children. They are Cameroonian children.
Baptized Operation Lake Sanity, an operation conducted on March 21 to June 2022. The objective was to roll back Boko Haram planted in some areas in the far north region. The operation led to the killing of 805 Boko Haram fighters, while improvised explosive devices destroyed and large quantity of arms and ammunition seized. The operation led to the death of 2 soldiers, while 16 were injured.
I am in headquarters, Sector 1 of the Multinational Joint Task Force with headquarters here in Mora. First, to see the officers and men and to thank them for the wonderful job they are doing.
Besides all these, the recent economic benefits.
Because of the operations, the commercial route from Chad to Kusiri to Gamboru to Dikwa to Meduguri is open.
The commander saluted the bravery of the soldiers while reminding them of their mission, which is protecting lives, property, and nations.
Maureen reporting there. Thanks, Maureen. The fourth phase of the anti-cholera campaign will be launched tomorrow in Douala, the February 22, and of course is expected to span right up to February 26. The campaign will see the administration of the cholera vaccine, and it must be noted that during last campaign that took place in August 2022, some population were reticent on the administration of the vaccine, and public health officials say that this campaign that will run in the littoral region will have to make sure they eradicate completely the cholera pandemic epidemic that is always resurfacing in the littoral region. And some 535 Cameroonian youths have acquired skills in automobile repairs, food processing and entrepreneurship in line with their professional reinsertion in the society. And this initiative has been sponsored by the European Union in collaboration with the Ministry of Vocational Training. As we hear from our chief correspondent in Yaoundé, Beatrice Ngamo.
535 young girls and boys, the beneficiaries of the Youth and Gender Connect program for their professional reinsertion into society. The initiative by the Chamber of Commerce, Industry, Mines and Crafts, sponsored by the European Union, has accompanied and facilitated their move to self-employment, job creation through skills acquired in automobile repairs, food processing, and entrepreneurship. Among the 535 beneficiaries are 139 women and 110 migrants back after failed illegal trips abroad.
You have many young Cameroonians, irrespective of their nation and their country, to the peril of their life, cross the desert and affront the rough weather in the seas to go to Europe in order to find the El Dorado there. But unfortunately, most of them are disillusioned because happiness and prosperity is here at home, but we ignore it. The best way to address this problem consists of giving the young African in general, Cameroonian in particular, possibility to have the skill, to have the know-how, to have the trade, which will enable them to settle in their country and to work either in the private sector or to settle themselves as a self-employment or entrepreneur. This is the purpose of this archipelago. I'm very much delighted that 535 Cameroonians have benefited and they have received skill and handicrafts necessary, which will enable them to install themselves in self-employment or to be recruited because they have the trade that the private sector requests.
This phase of training involved some 4 regions, the Adamawa, Center, Littoral and West, working with 8 technical platforms. The Youth and Gender Connect Archipelago, as it is popularly known, is very important for the socio-economic development of the country.
Thanks, Beatrice Ngamo. For the past 3 months, residents of Obam Ongola, that is a neighborhood in Yaoundé 3, have been living in pains due to the presence of open-air dump in their neighborhood and filled with stench, the unannounced noise. It is unbearable for these residents who see this enough is enough as the contents of every household is deposited around their neighborhood. Beatrice.
It all started with 2 garbage cans deposited at the site. After a while, they disappeared. The open-air dump started widening with the heap growing larger and deeper. What is surprising is that the place has become a dumping ground during the day. Garbage collected from who knows where are deposited here. Flies, stench, mosquitoes. We don't sleep at night because it is at night they come to collect the waste to deposit elsewhere. Noise all through the night. And once work starts at night, you can't eat. We live behind the dump. You can't eat in my parlor. Though after midday, the doors of most homes are still closed with occupants inside. The consequence this might have on their health, what they fear the most. We are afraid of our lives because actually we are in the dry season and the stench is affecting our breathing. Imagine if drops of rain adds to that, we'll all suffocate. The disturbing situation has carried them, they say, to the offices of the Yaoundé City Mayor and Governor. The trucks this Tuesday carrying out mission as they do every day.
C'est terrible ça. On peut pas parler, il veut me raconter. Moi, je suis ici depuis 91.
Trying to get the reaction of the Yaoundé City Council on the matter, Canal reporters were told no such document is on their table. What is certain is the fact that attention needs to be given to the inhabitants of Obam Ongola under the Yaoundé 3 district.
Thanks, Beatrice. Sorry for that mix-up. Mpala and Mpolongwe are two outstanding neighborhoods in Kribi, south region of the country. Very renowned indeed. Unfortunately, these two regions or two villages are prone to insecurity. And so to make sure to curb insecurity, the chiefs of those villages have finally been installed to take functions. We have details with Morindi.
New notables on Pala and Polingwen villages have been given guidelines as they take up office. Beyond the royalty, they embody, they must act in time to protect their respective communities from acts of insecurity and incivility. My father was so much engaged with development projects in this village. I'm merely following his footsteps. Various speakers dwelt on peace as a unifying factor. The notables all pledged to abide by the principles and values that would help spur growth in every aspect and sector in the locality. The adoptive sons from other villages will also have to ensure the strict respect of values like peace and social cohesion are well established and applied by all. The main message is on cohesion, while engaging and calling the attention of all to respect tradition. At the same time, we're equally calling on the population to be united, to be able to distinguish between what is good and what is bad, and to be patriotic, not to fall prey to malpractices. Inhabitants of both villages have expressed a wish to see their villages grow beyond expectation. They hope to have a community without insecurity and a booming economy.
Thanks, Maureen. And today is commemorated as the International Mother Tongue Day. And despite the enthusiasm fading out in the younger generation to learn their local languages, some parents have put forth solid measures to inculcate the language on their children. Now, Hyson Chow went discussing with some parents on how mothers and parents are transmitting their local languages to the children. Hope you equally not be a victim of not transmitting your language to your children. Hyson.
There are parents that do not joke with the transmission of their mother tongue to their children. Born and bred in Yaoundé, the children of this native of the West region are so versed with their local language.
Les enfants comprennent très bien.
My children understand very well. I send them on errands, commanding them in the dialect.
Je tape même, elle comprend.
Some continue to hold tight to the tradition of sending the kids to the village every holidays with the major objective of learning the mother tongue and other cultural elements.
C'est au village qu'ils ont appris bien à causer quand ils partent en vacances.
Others insist that inculcating the vernacular in children must begin from the base.
Quand l'enfant est tout petit, oui, je commence par bonjour en langue maternelle.
When they are still tender, I teach them the basics like good morning, I want to eat, and then I go progressively. Parents who understand the importance of the local languages have put in place daily rules to guide their children speak more often.
La méthode que j'utilise,
for the method I use, at times before I give them puff-puff money in the morning, they are obliged to come to my room, greet me in the dialect, ask for the money in the dialect before I give them. That is the routine.
C'est ce qu'elles font.
And in the nutshell, a few parents in the city of Yaoundé confess that English and French are the only languages spoken in their homes. They do not master their dialect, talk less of transmitting it to the next generation.
Well, thanks very much. What an interesting way to transmit the mother tongue to the offspring. Thanks, Hyacinth, for that, and hope you have equally learned the tricks on how to transmit your own mother tongue to your children. You are dropping the cuttings on this edition of the 615 News. I've been Kejan Henry Atimi, thanking you for being there with us. The rendezvous is tomorrow. Goodbye.